I was talking to a contractor friend of mine yesterday, and he was talking about how he was having problems getting paid when he finished a job. So I started questioning what he was doing, and he's like me. He's a handyman and does contractor type work, light construction. But he was telling me he had problems getting paid sometimes after a job. And when I asked him about it, he was telling me about this last job he was on. He was working for a home building contractor. And what he does is he puts up vinyl soffit and aluminum fascia. And he had done 4 houses for this building contractor. And he presented the building contractor with a bill for all 4 houses. And the building contractor squawked at it and didn't want to pay it. So after I asked him some questions, I found out that he didn't give him a bid on any of the houses. He also didn't get paid after the first house he did, which he should have done. He should be getting paid after each house that he does for this contractor. But instead he chose to wait. He told me he didn't like writing estimates and keeping up with the paperwork end of it. And he lets a family member do that for him. So that made me think. I know of other contractors that do similar things. And they have problems getting paid also at different times. And after talking to them, I realized that there's several things they do. Sometimes they'll give them an estimate up front and the customer will say, come and do the work. But they don't show up at the time they're supposed to. One of my friends said he would usually schedule his work for 8 or 8:30 in the morning to start. And he said sometimes he don't get there till 10, maybe 11 o'clock. He don't get in any hurry. He's out drinking coffee. And I said, you can't do that. If you tell a customer you're going to be there at 8, be there at 8 or 5 minutes before. Don't be there late. That automatically sends up a red flag about you the first thing to a customer. So you need to show up on time. You need to do your work, do quality work. Don't run in and out of the job site all day long. You stay there. You get your materials after work and bring to the job, or in the mornings before you come to the job. So what I'm trying to say is you have to set times and dates to do things, and you have to stick to the times and dates. And if you do quality work, you'll get paid right after the job is finished. In my 40 years in business, I've had one person that did not pay, and that was in 1988 or 89. I'd done some roofing work for him. It was just a small patch job, and he paid me about half of it, and he told me he'd get me the rest. He said he was satisfied with the work. It all looked good, but he just did not have all of the money at that time, and he asked if I'd wait a little while on the rest of it, and I did. And of course I never heard anything from him, and this went on and on for a few weeks, and I just finally wrote the $200 off. But when somebody, not somebody, but you as a handyman, when you finish a job, you have to have the job site cleaned up. Your work has to be quality work. When you finish, most of the time they'll be standing there with a check in their hand, or they will go write you a check right then. And if they happen to be at work or out when you're finished, shoot them a text or a call that night after they've had time to come in and look at the work, and they can see what you've done. So text them and call them that night and just ask them how everything looked. Did the work look okay? Was there any problems? And they'll say no if you did good work. And they'll ask when you want to come and pick up the check. So I'll set a date and time with them, and I'll come and get the check. It's very simple. As long as you do your job, your own time, you don't give them a runaround about anything. And another thing, don't ask for your money up front, or even half of it up front. That sends up major red flags when you ask for half of your money up front. I don't care if you have to go out and spend $100 on material or $4,000 on material. Never ask for money up front. You get your money when the job's done. So that's kind of a rant of mine. And also, I'm telling you this from experience. I may not be the best in the world about wording things when I speak, on camera especially, but I do know these things work. If you want to get paid when you get done, you got to do it right. You can't play around with customers. All right, I'm going to let you go. Have a good one.